Everybody, and welcome to week 6 of the course. We are in the home stretch here. We are almost done. Um, and I just want to make a couple comments about last week. I thought the discussion posts were really great. I really enjoyed reading what you were sharing with your classmates, and I really loved reading their responses to you. So that was a really nicely done discussion post. So thank you for doing that. I hope you got something out of it and learned a little bit of something from some of your other classmates, and I wish you all the best with all your great plans that you have coming up. Okay, so this week we're going to go through a chapter on information technology and one on accounting, basically. I don't. I'm going to say they're not really related. Some of the topics that we cover at towards the end of class are individual topics, one-off things, so they're not particularly related. But we just need to get through these things before the end of the class. Okay, so when I look at the assignments, thank goodness we don't have any, right? Okay, so you're basically going to read the chapters, do the quizzes, and um, and then there is a discussion post on on the impact of technology, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So as weeks go, this one isn't too bad. It's just kind of normal. So let me show you what we have here to talk about. So when we talk about information technology, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that the chapter, as it's written in the book, even though they've rewritten it, is a little dated, and I want to point out a few things that I've added as content, which I think are really important. Information technology in business has absolutely shaped it and changed it in ways that are almost unimaginable. Information technology was originally looked at as being a way to become more efficiently run as an organization. And today, because technology has advanced so far, it's reinvented how we do business at all. And what's interesting about it is a company like Amazon, who we would have never even heard of or thought about in um, in 1980, has is now one of the largest corporations in the world, which was all driven by technology. Um, so it's obviously impacted us in a very big way. So there's a few things I want to point out to you. One of the things I really like for people to take a consideration of is artificial intelligence is an area of information technology that is absolutely influencing today and will continue to influence in a big way all types of business. Really, actually, it's even affecting the field of education today as well. So it's a huge area, and there's a really good video I found on it that gives you kind of an overall view of it, which I would suggest you watch. And then we're going to talk about the other aspect of information technology that's influencing business in a very big way, and that's it's gone. The term they like to use is big data. Um, it's just a way of saying we have the means to collect and store vast amounts of information. I mean, exponentially higher than what we used to think about storing not even 20 years ago. And that huge amount of information that's made available to us has really affected many parts of business in a big way. So I'd also suggest reading about big data. It's a really, really important aspect of business. Now, why do I think these things are even important is that as you embark on your careers and of all the different types of things people are talking about doing, these things are going to influence in a big way. And the more you can learn about it, the more you can make it part of what you know, the more value you'll be as an employee to companies in the future. And even if you go into your own business, the easier it will be for you to actually differentiate your business and become better at it. So, if you want to discuss any of these things in detail after looking through these, because again, I'd say the text only does a marginal job of it. Um, but if you want to discuss any of these things, I work very closely with both these areas, and I'd be happy to talk to you. So just shoot me off an email if you want to like learn a little bit more about it, and I'd be happy to have a discussion with you about it. Okay, so and then there's some things on 3D printing which I just think is cool. So I just you might want to take a look at those just because it's pretty amazing emerging technology. Okay, so that's that. Now, when we look at accounting, it's not, and in the accounting chapter, I'll give you a little bit of heads up. It's not heavy duty accounting from the standpoint of knowing all the workings of how to work through financial statements. It's more describing what accounting is, how it's used. Um, for those of you who are interested in it, accounting is a profession, and one of the most amazing things about the profession is it's pretty much self-regulated, and it's been that way since its inception. So, um, the professional organizations, as they're described, you'll read about these things in the chapter, but the professional organizations and how accounting is actually, maybe institutionalized, let's say, is really done by accountants and in conjunction with the government, but the government has less of a role in it. More rules and guidelines, but accountants basically their profession is so strong that that essentially they regulate themselves. And if you wanted to get into public accounting, you want to become a CPA or certified public accountant. Some of you may know what a CPA is, and may also know that it's one of the hardest professional exams that you can take, and that's including uh, the bar exams for lawyers and even um, certification um, tests that you take for to become a doctor. So yes, it's that hard. So if you want to learn a little bit about it, the CPA exam is pretty difficult, and this interesting video kind of talks through what somebody is actually relays how difficult it actually is. So anyway, so that's what we're going to talk about when we talk about accounting. We're going to talk about the role of accounting and accounting information in organizations, not so much the hard tax of accounting. So, and if you want to do that, by the way, accounting is a tremendous profession. If you get a 4-year degree in any kind of business, you're going to have to take probably 2 accounting classes, one of them being financial accounting and the other one being managerial accounting. And I can just tell you, it's one of those subjects that I learned. I never wanted to be an accountant. I can assure you of that. But it was one of those subjects that I have definitely utilized a lot during my career. So accounting is a pretty important subject to learn about. Okay, so that's it for this week. Work through the what we have going on there, do the quizzes, and good luck, and I'll look forward to talking to you next week. Before I wrap it up, I want to make sure we talk about the discussion post. So, um, information technology is like I say, it's had a huge impact on business, and I've had my career start with when I started my career, it was dealing with mainframe computers, and very archaic these days software and language, even languages that software was written in. So that's really changed dramatically in my career time. So we basically went from mainframe computing to distributed computing, like networking, think about that. Doing personal computing using desktop computers and notebook computers and what have you. Um, Portable computing, the internet came along. I remember working with the internet back in the early 90s, before it became the World Wide Web, really, and seeing the evolution of that, which has just been tremendous and has a long way to go. Um, so it's pretty incredible. And one of the key things that's helped me be successful in my career was understanding what technology was coming along, and then kind of figuring out how it's going to apply to me and to the fields that I was working on or the businesses I was working in. So anyway, I want you to think about technology in its current form, how much you anticipate the impact it'll have on your career. And so basically think about the different types of technology that we've learned about that are coming up, maybe AI and big data, and think is like, how is it going to affect what the career path that I want to go down? Start thinking about that. And so I want that to be your entry, your original post, which you need to do by Wednesday, and then reply to everybody else's by, I'm sorry, reply to one other by Friday of next week. If you have any questions about what I'm looking for in this discussion post, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, with that I say good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.